Then forms, these are, as I said, frequent developments, one of the frequent developments. So when you create a purchase order, for example, this is a typical report. So this is how the report output will look, something like this. But these reports have some limitations on how much you can print, how much formatting you can do in the output. But sometimes when we create these documents, the user says, okay, I'm creating this purchase order in the system or this billing document in the system, and I want to take a printout of this document. He's creating this document in the system, and he says, I want to take a printout. And since these are all legal documents, there are some legal requirements. An invoice should have this mandatory information. This is how the format should be of the invoice. There's a standard format that we follow. So we need to create that in a standard format. Let me open a document. Okay, so here you can see this is a typical form output. The same invoice details you are printing in a different format. So here you are printing the invoice number, here you are printing the exporter details, ultimate consignee details, purchasing consignee details, some terms of payment, then you are printing the item details, what are the items that were shipped, memory 256 MB, this is the quantity, this is the unit price and total price. Then at the end you are printing some totals, line totals, subtotals, all this stuff. So this is a typical form output. So if the user says, I want to print my invoice in a certain format, I want my company logo on the left hand side, something on the right hand side. So you can do this by developing these forms. So we'll be learning. So we have SAP scripts and something called smart forms. So we'll be learning all that in this course. So we'll be learning how to develop these forms. So you can categorize all the developments that you do into one of these categories, RICEF, and in some job postings you also see something called RICEFW. W stands for workflow. So apart from reports, interfaces, conversions, extensions, forms, they expect you to know workflow also. So these are the typical RICEF objects that we'll be developing in the company. Any questions? Subhareddy, you have a question? So tomorrow we'll be talking about this architecture of an SAP system. As I said, today we haven't talked about anything technical. So, but tomorrow's session we'll try to understand. I'll try to give a technical overview on the SAP system, how it is set up, and what are the different layers that make up your SAP system. So it's a more technical session tomorrow. So I'm done for today. This is what I wanted to make you understand. The idea was to make you understand what exactly we do as an ABAP consultant in a company, why does a company need an ABAP consultant, and what kind of developments we typically develop. Subhareddy, you have a question? Let me go to someone else. Sunny? Shamba Shiva?
Sir? Hello?
Yep, go ahead please.
Sir, we have these applications like RICEF.
Mm-hmm.
With that application we can develop, or we have existing applications in SAP.
SAP also provides all this. The SAP provides some standard reports. It provides standard BAPIs. For every transaction, there's a BAPI available. It provides standard interface programs. So SAP already provides everything. I'll say SAP provides everything that you need to run your business. So
as you told, report applications are like only read-only access type. I mean, like, no, can we develop report applications so that I mean, how it can assure that we are not able to access the database?
means you modify the data?
Yes.
Generally, if the user requirement is that I just want to see some information, then we create a report. If the user says, I want to see the information, at the same time I also want to modify the information, then that also is possible. I can also extract the data and show it to the user and give the option to the user where he can modify that data and update it back to the database. That also we can do.
So is there any API providing all this?
You don't need an API for that. APIs we use if you want to exchange data between different systems. Here everything is within the system. So you don't need an API for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. But SAP provides a lot of stuff, lot of function modules, lot of stuff. For example, anything, there are a lot of standard SAP function modules provided. So any functionality you are looking for, there's one function module. There's thousands of function modules provided by SAP. So quite a few interface programs. Everything is available. For example, let's say I'm taking orders, and obviously I have some 100 products in my stock. I have some 100 stock, and I cannot check the stock every time before taking the order, right? So I can take the orders, and let's say I have 100 available and I'm expecting some 500 in next 5 days. Then I can simply take the orders and run one program which can reschedule these orders. So for example, it can prioritize based on who is placing the order, what is the quantity, by when they need, and I can simply run one program which can reschedule all these orders. So there's one program provided by SAP for that. If you open this V2, it's a rescheduling program. So I can simply take the orders, run this program every day in the night, and by morning it will reschedule all the orders based on the available stock, how much we are expecting, how much is in production. So it will consider all that information and automatically reschedule stuff for you. So SAP provides all this stuff automatically by default when you implement SAP. Okay. Supriya, you have a question? Funny, you have a question?
Hi, Kiran.
Funny, I'm losing your voice. Can you repeat? I can, but there's some static. Yep. IDOCs are interfaces. They act like interface. And they are not exactly any program. IDOC is simply a data container. So before you push data, we send the data in that IDOC format. You can think of it something like a notepad with some data. So I cannot call it a program. So IDOC is simply a data container. It's not exactly a program.
Okay. And what is the difference between BAPI?
What's the difference between BAPI and? BAPI itself is one type of interface. In interfaces, depending on your requirement, for example, there's a lot of background noise, so I'm muting your microphone. For example, you want to create one program in such a way that this program can be called directly from the external system and do something in your SAP system. For example, let's say you have one Java application that you want to use as a front end to create a purchase order. But whenever the user inputs all the details about this purchase order or an accounting document, for example, then this data should be posted in your SAP system because that's where you're saving all the accounting documents. Now this Java application is opened by the user in a different system, and he's giving all the information about the accounting document. When he clicks on save, that data should be posted in your SAP system, not in the system in which he has opened this web application, right? So in that case, what we can do is, as an ABAP consultant, we can develop one BAPI, or there are standard BAPIs available. All these BAPIs start with BAPI. So I can develop, for example, there's a BAPI for accounting document called accounting document post. You can simply call this BAPI provided by SAP, and whenever the user uses this web application and clicks on save, at that point they can call this BAPI, pass on all the details to this BAPI, and this BAPI will create the accounting document in your SAP system. So where you are directly posting the data, calling it. So in that case, we develop a BAPI. In another requirement, the other external application will simply collect all that information and save that information in one folder in your SAP system. So the data is sent directly, saved in one folder. So if you go to this transaction, here we have different folders. So these are your system folders in the application server. Tomorrow, as I said, you'll be seeing understanding what is this application layer and all this stuff. So here I have one directory. In this directory, I'm saving some data. So they're simply pushing the data. This data is stored in this directory, which I can process. So for that, I'll create one inbound interface program where I'll take this data stored in this directory and then process that data to post the data in my system. Or else I can simply extract the data from the database and save it as a file in one directory. That's an outbound interface programs. So we have different types of interface programs that we develop based on your need. Atul, you have a question?
Hi, actually, I lost a small portion of this training.
Mm-hmm.
So can I visit at the website and I can...
This session I'm recording anyway, so I'll be mailing you a link where you can download this recording for today's session.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Right. So those who are done with your questions, please lower your hand. So, is knowledge of SQL prerequisite for ABAP coding? Not required. I would be teaching you, even if you don't know SQL, I would be teaching you SQL in this course. So, it's just that few 6 or 7 variations of select statements, if you know, that's more than sufficient. So whatever SQL is required for you to know, I would be teaching that anyway. So this is a beginner to expert program, in the sense we'll be starting from the very basics and we'll be moving on to the most advanced topics also in this course. So whatever you need to learn, need to know, I would be covering all that in this course. So you don't need to worry about it. Even if you come with a blank slate, I can still take care of that. Will you be providing any course material? Yes. So once you enroll, you would get access to my website where you can log in. So once you log in, you'll be seeing this My Course tab. Under this My Course menu, here you can access the recorded sessions. All the recordings are available. I would expect you to go through a few sessions beforehand so that you can understand or follow the classes, the regular classes better. Right. So try going through this recorded sessions beforehand before you join the class, so that you can understand what I'm explaining better. Right. So you can go through the recorded sessions. You'll have access to all the recordings here. So you can go through all the sessions that are available, which you can watch online. So you can go through all the sessions from beginning to end. So you'll have access to all the recorded sessions once you enroll. And then here you can download the course material. There are quite a few articles you can see on the left hand side, right hand side. So you can either download, there's some material available for download, the other material you can read. So you can go through all these articles that are there in the website. Then we also have this discussion forum. Anytime you have some questions, you can post it in the forum. I'll be giving you a lot of assignments. For every topic I teach, I'll be giving you some assignments. And working on these assignments is very important. That's when you actually learn. So when you're working on these assignments, you have any questions, you can post them in your in the forum, and I would be answering those questions for you, right? So you can use our discussion forum to post your questions. So there are so many other users